Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I have a little bit of a different setup here. No rings on because I will be wearing gloves. So I thought I could demonstrate how I do the resin pieces. Hopefully it goes well because, you know, yeah. And I thought I would do a couple of pieces. I'm not going to do too many because it does take a while to like stir everything, and I don't want to make a super long video. So, got these out. I've got this very large mermaid tail, and then I thought I would do the little console controllers. I haven't learned how to do different colors at once, so I'm going to stick with one color. I'm going to, I think I'm going to make the tail blue, just because even though I like purple, I kind of want to see it in blue. So we're going to use this blue, which is sky blue. Thought I would use that. And then the controllers, I'm just going to use black. And I'm going to use the same measuring cup for both of them. So if a little blue gets mixed in with the black, that's fine. I don't care, because I'm going to do the mermaid tail first. Now I have the measuring cup here because I was pouring the water out. So basically how I read to find out how much resin you need is to fill your mold with water, pour it out, and see where the line is. Simple enough. So that's what I did. So the two molds that I used for that are drying right now because they're still wet. And we are going to use 2 cups like this to mix them in. And then once I mix them the first time, I'm going to pour them, maybe not. These are a little flimsy. I don't like that. Let's see. Or you know what? I only need one. I'm only using one. Let's see if I can double this up. It's still, I don't know. I don't think I like that. So I think what I'm going to do is just stick with this, because you're supposed to pour it into a second cup and then mix it up in a second cup. So I think I'm just going to stick with that. So the first thing, definitely wear gloves, because you don't want this stuff on you. And you can keep it fairly clean, but if you're doing a lot, you might start getting stuff, you know, kind of spilled or whatever. If you have an accident with it, you want to put gloves on. So I got these gloves from Costco. It was in a big, huge pack, and I actually really like them. Okay, so we have it, I have it written down. So the mermaid tail fits all the way up to the 1 ounce or 30 milliliters line. So half, with that, you have to put half of this bottle and half of this bottle. Okay, and so we are going to do 15 of each, and you just pour it in there. Hopefully I have enough in these 2 bottles for that. Trying to see if it's on the 15 or not. There we go. And then I always put my covers back on as soon as I'm done pouring, because knowing me, I would spill these all over the place if I didn't. Then you just fill up to your mark with the second one. And again, put your cover on. Now I use popsicle sticks to stir these. They're cheap, they're easy. And I have a little stopwatch on my phone, and I'm gonna go ahead and push start. You have to stir this for 2 minutes. And you know, every once in a while you wanna scrape the sides of it. You wanna scrape it off of your popsicle stick, and just, you know, just so that you know it's getting mixed thoroughly. So every once in a while, just go around, scrape the sides of the cup to get the stuff into the middle, and then scrape off your popsicle stick and just keep stirring. And yes, it takes 2 minutes to do it this way. And I forgot my heat gun, so I will have to pause you guys after I pour this to go get my heat gun. I use a heat gun at the end to get all the bubbles out off the top, and it works out pretty well. And this is why I didn't want to do too many of these, just because of the stirring time. It takes a while, so it does take a while. So you just keep stirring, and once the 2 minutes has gone by, we're going to pour it into the second cup, and you have to stir it for another minute once it's in there. And I mix the mica powder in the second one. Okay, so that is 2 minutes. So we're going to pour it into the second cup, and when you do, just make sure you scrape the sides as best you can. If you can get flat cups on the inside that have measurements, that's the best, just because, you know, it's easier to scrape a flat surface. If you can't, then just do your best to scrape out as much resin as you can into the second cup. And you have a little time to work with, so don't be, you know, in too big of a rush and, you know, spill it or anything like that. And if you get any on the side of the cup, just scrape it off. Okay, so we are going to use the blue. And usually what I do is I take another popsicle stick and kind of scoop some out. Oh, hang on. I forgot to do this. This stick is just for the stirring. So I'm going to put it back in there. And this stick is for the mica powder. Now, you don't have to use a lot, but it just depends on what kind of color you want. So that should be good. And you just mix it in. For another minute. You have to mix this for a minute. It's not because of the mica powder, it's because of the the resin. You end up having to mix it for 3 minutes, but 2 minutes in one container, 1 minute in the second container. And this is where I like to get all of the mica powder. I don't do the mica powder when I'm mixing it for the 2 minutes because I want to just work on getting the two resins mixed together, the hardener and the resin just mixed together. So then for the second cup, that's when I do my mica powder. It just makes it a little easier to concentrate on one thing. So I'm going to close this up since I'm going to be pouring this in just a second. And I do 2 batches before, you know, I pretty much do all of my resin that I want to do before I do the heat gun. So once you have it mixed, you just pour it into the mold. Make sure it gets into all the little nooks and crannies and scrape out until it fills the mold, which this is a little overfull, but that's okay. I'm not going to move that because once you start moving it, it kind of messes it up. So now I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to get that out of the way and put that right here. Now this one was only to the 3/4 line. So I'm gonna put that right there. And let's see. There it is. So I'm gonna go right before the half ounce mark. There's a line in between the 1/4 ounce and the 1/2 ounce. So I'm going to go right to that one, and then I'll go to the 3/4 with the other. And you can always, if you can't see your measurements that well in your cup, you can always mark it with like a black marker or something just to make it a little easier on yourself. Okay. And I'm going to pour this in, and let's see if I can keep it on camera. Okay, there we go. And again, close your bottles. All right, so start the little stopwatch. I'm going to start stirring. And you can see on this one all the little bubbles coming to the middle. Once I get this one done and in the mold, I will go get my heat gun and show you guys how I do the heat gun in the end. I like to be kind of high above it so that it doesn't spread the resin very much. So you want to be careful with that. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because I have 4 that I need to pour into. So hopefully it comes out right. The last one might be a little difficult, but the first 3 should be all right. Your hand starts to get tired after mixing for so long. It is definitely a long, okay, I shouldn't say it's a long process because it's not like a really long process unless you're doing a lot at a time. Then it can get into a lot of, you know, a long process. But if you are going to be doing a lot at a time, what I suggest doing is getting all of the resin that you need in one cup, you know, a larger cup or whatever, and mixing it all at once, and then putting the putting them in smaller cups to put in the mica powder or the paint drops or whatever you're putting in there to color it, you know, the food coloring, whatever. All right, stop. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here. I don't care that it's got blue in it because I'm gonna be using black, so it probably won't even show. And even if it does, it might just give it a little neat effect. So I'm not worried about it. And I'm going to be using a new stick for the black because I don't want to stick the old one in with the mica powder because it does have resin on it. I don't know why, but these measurements are on the inside of the cup. So it's causing a bit of a problem. Get scraping this out. I got this kit, the cups and stuff like that, on Amazon. Comes with quite a lot of things in there to use. So here we have the black, and of course with black you don't need much because it's, you know, it's black. So that should be good. And if you need more, you can always get more, but just do a new popsicle stick for every time you do powder. It's more of a gray color. I'm gonna put a little bit more black in there. There we go. That should be good, hopefully. And again, we're gonna mix for a minute. And yeah, I would suggest, if it helps you, hold it in your hand. Hold the cup in your hand when you're mixing. If you're not afraid, you know, that it's going to fall out of your hand or you're going to drop it, hold it in your hand, because I'm always just afraid that when it's on the table and I'm mixing it, that I'm going to knock it over. We've got about 30 more seconds. And this is how I do it. It's super easy with the kit that I got from Michael's. And there we go. All right, so I'm going to move that out of the way. And the reason I set these side by side like this is because I cover it with a plastic container. I don't want my cats getting into it, so I do cover this. And you just have to carefully fill up the little molds. I love this little game controller mold. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. And just go back in and fill up any that might need a little more. There we go. All right, so that is that. Now you can wash these cups out, which I will be washing these out with soap and water in my garage sink. But yeah, the popsicle sticks I just throw away because I can always get more of those. And I will be right back, and I'm gonna get the heat gun to show you the last little bit of that. Okay, so I got the heat gun. You can see, and I'm just standing off to the side, you can see on here all the bubbles in the middle there. This one, the bubbles have kind of popped on their own, but I'm still gonna run the heat gun over it. So I apologize for the noise, but it is what it is. So I go above, get as high as you can without having the heat gun blow the resin out of the mold, but it's still popping the bubbles. And you just want to pop them as much as you can. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. So I'm going to get this done. Yeah, see, these bubbles kind of popped on their own, so that's good. Okay, now I want to show you, this is what I mean. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some resin coming out on the corner, so I'll have to trim that off once it's dry. Don't touch it to try to fix it, okay? Don't touch it, because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna make it worse. And it's easy enough just to take a pair of scissors or something and trim off the excess once you pop it out. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. This isn't going to be big enough. So I'm going to move that as carefully as I can and put 2 of them on here. So this is what I do. I take, and I've got to get my other one from across the table. So I just take little plastic containers like this. Sorry, I gotta move some of this stuff out of the way. Didn't think I would need to. All right, and I just put them like that so that 1, my kids don't touch it, and 2, the cats can't get into it. And that's how I leave it. Now, you have to leave it for 24 hours. So it is 11 o'clock in the morning on, what is today? Wednesday. So at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, I'll be able to take these out of the mold and pop them out. And I will finish the video up when I can pop them out to show you guys. So I will be back once these are done. Okay guys, so it is time to take the mermaid tail and the controllers out. I made a rose later on, and I made some mushrooms, but those won't be ready to come out until tonight. So we are going to go ahead and take these out and show you the process of what it looks like. On the back, they are very smooth, and you can feel that they're not tacky or anything like that. So you just pull the mold away from the resin, And that is cute. Okay, so it's probably, okay, no, you can see it. You can see the little raised bits on there. That is too cute. So yeah, I think what I'll do is like put some paint on it or something to show off the buttons a little bit more. And we're gonna go ahead and take out the rest of these. So here is this one. You've got this one here. And the last one. You've got that one. And it looks like there might have been some bubbles down in it, or the resin didn't, like, on the controller here, it looks like there might have been some bubbles down in the bottom. But that's okay. I'm fine with that. And that's how thick they are. So there are those. And you can actually kind of see through them with the, like, if you look right here, when the light shines through, you can kind of see through them. So that is that one. Now we're going to take out the mermaid tail. And I did use the heat gun and blew some of the resin back into shape, but you can see there's still a little bit there that didn't go back in. You can try to correct it while it's still wet with a heat gun by blowing it back in. You just have to be really careful because a lot of times it will make it worse. So I think that came out beautifully. I absolutely love that. It's very large, and this bit here, it's actually not very hard. So I'm gonna lay this back in. I almost think it needs to sit a little bit longer, or it didn't get enough hardener in it. So I'm gonna set it back in there, and I'm gonna leave it until this evening when I open these. Now, these are hard. They're not tacky on the top, but this one is a little bit. So I'm going to just leave them and for the time that they specify, just to make it easier. Now these are hard as rocks. They are not flimsy at all. So those were definitely ready. This one, I will leave it in there until tonight, and then I will check it again and see if it's still kind of flimsy. I don't mind if it is, because you can actually kind of shape it that way. But yeah, you really kind of want it to be hard. So I will be back this evening and check all the rest of them. So yeah, I'll be back then. Okay, so the rest of them are ready to come out, and I wanted to see if any of these were hard enough, or it got harder. Yeah, see, no. See, I want to show you. That shouldn't do that. See how easy that is to bend? That shouldn't be doing that. So, yeah, I guess there just wasn't enough hardener in it, or it didn't get mixed well enough. Either way, the top part seems pretty firm. Well, no, because I'm moving that too. So, I mean, you know, it happens. I'm okay with it because it's probably not going to get used for anything, you know, that other than being flat. But I wanted to show you the mushrooms that I did. And I did, on these, I did a copper top and then like a brown bottom. Thought those were really cute. And then this one, I have 2 all brown and 1 with the copper top on it. I really like that one. I think that one's cute. So there are those. And I think these, yeah, these are soft as well because I separated the 2 color, like I separated the mixture into 2 different batches. So I don't think it had enough hardener in each color like it was supposed to. So yeah, you just have to be careful. I'm going to have to, I know on the cups, you can see the line fine today, but after using it once, you can't see that line very well. So I'm going to have to draw on the outside so that I can see it better. Okay, so I'm hoping this one turned out. It's still pretty tacky though, so I don't know. I'm afraid of this one. We're gonna see, hopefully it's set up. It's been sitting for 24 hours, which is as long as it's supposed to take, but we'll see. I'm going to try to push it out. I don't like how it's so tacky on the top though. Let's see. And I did 2 different colors with it. And it's not. Okay, there we go. There, it came out. It's very tacky though, so I don't think I added enough. Yeah, it's very soft. The petals don't seem to be. It seems to be the purple that's the problem. So I put purple on the bottom and I put blue on the top, and it's the purple that seems to be the problem. The blue seems to be fine. So, not bad for my first time with that, and I'll just have to work with it, I guess, a little bit. But it pops right back into shape. So, but yeah, so that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.